So I'm on the line with Nadia Stanley, and we are practicing the whole social distancing thing. Well, she's on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, so we're doing pretty good.
Yes, we're making it work.
I know why you're single, sis. A 10-minute read. I think some folks may take a little longer to kind of get the gist of what you're trying to say. I love the table of contents. I'll just read a few of them. I don't go out. These are some of the reasons why we're still single. What does he look like? I've heard that often. I'm prettier than her, or I'm not difficult. I'm just hard to get. So I want to say that this was inspired by not just you and your experiences, but some friends. Tell me about
Absolutely.
the purpose of the book and how it got started.
Absolutely. I just realized kind of in our generation, the majority of my friends, at least, and the women that I see are single.
Right.
And some of them happily single, and like I'm all about that because I was a happy single for a couple of years. Right. But then at a certain point, sometimes you're tired of being single, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of realized that there was sometimes a disconnect in why we're single. And, you know, I struggled with that for a couple of years. And then I was able to help a lot of my friends just through some of the tough conversations that sometimes we don't have, that we might need to have, that can help us in so many ways. So that's kind of what inspired this book. I was actually on a call with one of my friends, and I was talking to her, and she was like, Nadia, you need to share this with the world. You need to write a book. And I was like, I do need to write a book.
Right. So did they have anything to say about you kind of sort of using them as research, or they were like, yeah, let's go, let's do it?
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Now that it's starting to kind of put it out, things like that, that's when some people are starting to ask me, what part was about me? And what was and like, oh no, I think this part was about me. And funny enough, nothing in the book was directly about one person.
These are just
exactly, we can all relate, kind of whether you're single or not. Like all of these things are common things that are said. All men are dogs. Mm-hmm. That's said all the time.
I read that one, and you had a good point. You said if that were the case, would you agree with men saying all women are bitches? And that's not the case. Or all women are gold diggers. That's not the case. Those are the people that you tend to date. So you might have to change up your strategy or whatever. A lot of women don't want to agree with that, thinking that there's nothing wrong with me and the people that I choose. Well, if you keep choosing the same thing, it might be you, sis. So.
And that's the thing. And no matter how harsh it comes across, like some of the things that I'm saying, mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I'm a person, I want results.
Right.
I don't want to be right. I don't want to necessarily, sometimes it's not going to be fun, but you know, we have to start talking about some of the things. And just like you said, we're not going to let men say all sorts of crazy stuff about us. So at least I'm not.
Can't say
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we need to kind of ease off on just kind of always blaming men and always, because this is the thing, mm-hmm. Kiki, that gives them too much power, really and truly. Right. You know, we control our destiny, and we control how we look at things and how we, change things, no matter what's out there. Even if there are a lot of men maybe that are dogs. Mm-hmm. One, it's not all, and you just focus on, the good ones.
So I'm not surprised that you brought up the blind date part. I'm not surprised because it is 2020 and this is where we're going now. I think it's because maybe the pickings are a little slim. And the stereotypical excuse of Black women don't use dating sites is kind of out the window now. So suggesting was that like an open invitation to, come on, sis, just try that out, to a lot of our urban lifestyle, a lot of our African-American women. So tell me about that.
Absolutely. Because I'm a proud Black woman. Mm-hmm. The majority of my friends are Black women. So it's definitely, I'm speaking to friends that, from my perspective, and it is in our community kind of still, I don't want to say frowned upon, but especially like in my age group, it's kind of like, why would I do that? And all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, just be open to it.
Right.
And I think sometimes just not always saying no, 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 even if that isn't the way that you're going to find the love of your life, at least you're just opening yourself off to like new possibilities. And like I said in the book, back in the day, I would never get into a car with a stranger. And now I'm all about these ride sharing apps.
Yeah, the ride share. So what about, you look at the things you talk about, the men, I want a man with money. I'm looking for an Idris Elba. I've been told, and I believe you've even mentioned it in other conversation, maybe email, I'm not sure, but how we're supposed to list out what we want and not lower our standards. Does this kind of contradict that way of thinking?
No, well, I don't think so, because the first part of the book is an interactive, just to check off some of the things that you've heard yourself say before. And because sometimes we don't even realize that those are kind of negative thinking, or sometimes those are things that are stopping us from our blessings.
Right.
But then, so at the same time, even though I think we kind of sometimes need to be brought back to reality, at the same time, there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want, as long as it's healthy and it's right for you.
And
so
it makes you happy.
Exactly. So the end of the book, journaling is really big for me. I really believe in affirmations and writing down things. And the first thing that I say at the end of the book, you have to write down also too, first and foremost, 10 things about yourself you're grateful for. Because I think we need to start about us, even before we're thinking about a man, and I think that's where a lot of the work is. And then I say 10 things about yourself that you want to work on, 10 things you want in a man, and things you've learned while reading this book. And there's actually a section in the book where you journal and write down those notes. And so, I don't think it's contradictory, because it's so funny that you said that, because some of these topics really do spark some conversations.
Right, exactly.
And I love it. And it's funny enough, the Idris Elba one, I remember one of my friends called me and she was like, okay, this is the thing. I know I'm kind of in that part of the book, I'm trying to tell women, why are we always looking to that one, like, he's People magazine's most beautiful man, and this, why is that always kind of the goal? Because sometimes we're not that counterpart, to be honest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it's kind of like, you do have to look at whether you're equally yoked with someone, right?
Right.
But my friend called me out and was like, that's contradictory, because you're very much a person that, like, you should shoot for the stars and you should, dream big and this and that. And I was like, yes, but did you read the other part of that topic? Because I'm kind of trying to show women, who says that he's the pinnacle?
Right.
I think there's sometimes a lot of superficial things, or, I live in LA, I live in Hollywood, and that glitz and glam kind of blurs our vision, where we have beautiful men all around us that we're overlooking because, of certain things. So that's really what the chapter is about, not to say don't, you should have high standards.
Are there certain things that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But I was just saying, who says that this definition of a man should be our only standard?
Has this motivated you to write more dating, relationship, advice, genre books? Like the next chapter would be, okay, so you're single, but I know why you're not married, sis.
Well, funny enough, this has inspired me to write, but not necessarily in this topic and genre. And that's what I'm so glad you asked that, because if you asked me a week before I wrote this book, I would tell you you're lying. Like, I had no intent of somewhat becoming in this world. It's just something that actually was natural to me. I actually am the voice of reason for all of my friends. I do this all the time. It's a hard topic to bring to the world.
Nobody wants to hear that they're broken or they have a crack. nobody wants to hear it because we're a valuable piece of, we're a valuable, I don't know.
Exactly.
Person.
We're goddesses and we're queens.
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree with that. And I actually, funny enough, I just think it's a time where women, as I'm gonna get in trouble, Kiki.
Come on.
But we need to be accountable. I think men and women need to be accountable.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking to women right now. Like my next book might, if it was going to be on this topic, it might be I Know Why You're Single, Bro.
I was going to ask that. Because you also think about if there's a woman that's into Black men or white men, or if there's a man that's into a certain type of woman, or she has to have this and she can't have any kids, or she has to be athletic, or she has to be a boss chick, this and that, and that's also holding them away and causing them to be single as well. So they need some help too, sis.
And that's exactly it. It's just kind of what I see around me inspires me. So whether it's, an extension to this book, and if people want more and more conversations with women, but funny enough, I think everyone we need to have conversations with, and definitely, I think Black love especially, I'm a big proponent of it. I mean, all love is beautiful, but Black love has been torn down for centuries.
It's something to root for. You get proud, and you're upset, you're devastated if you have this couple, if Barack and Michelle, oh my God.
Exactly.
Will and Jada, like Russell and Sierra, like you can't. That's our Martin, Malcolm, and Robert F. Kennedy.
Absolutely. And we need to hold those things dear, and we need to kind of make the steps in our own life to kind of achieve those type of relationships that, we see from an outside. But absolutely. And so it's so funny that you said that, like, am I going to write more books like this?
Yeah.
I don't know. And funny enough,
no pressure at all.
But the key thing is I need people to read this one. And like, I wish I could just like give it away, because it's really I just want to spark these conversations, whether it's in your homes or at work with your girlfriends, or, I just think sometimes, especially as friends of single people need to read this book, because sometimes we don't give our friends the best advice, in my opinion. Sometimes we're always just agreeing with them and always just, and I think it's important to show that you care about your friend and you love them and they're valued, but sometimes you need to tell them when they're wrong and when they need to change.
A friend can do that. You can ask my best friend. They have no problem. None. Like, sorry you're crying, but it is what it is.
Shouldn't have done that, sis.
So what's next? We talked about some of the projects. How can we get in touch with you via social media? If there's maybe someone wants to ask you a question, or maybe as a therapist or a mentor, I don't know.
Absolutely. And I try to tell people, like, I am not a relationship expert. I'm just a woman just like everyone else, but I think God gave me a different perspective that I think is somewhat needed, and that's the only reason why I wrote this book. So I am definitely your new friend from afar that can, give you some good advice. And you can find me on Instagram at your girl Stanley. Stanley is my last name, and the books page is at I Know Why Books.
Got it.
And a lot of people say I Know Why Books, because does that mean that there's more coming out? Maybe.
Put it in the atmosphere. Why not?
Why not? And with all this madness,
I see a whole I Know Why empire. I know you're broke. I know why you're, I don't know.
I know why you're not happy. There's all sorts.
I know why your twist out's not working. I don't know.
Hilarious. Everyone needs those tips. I struggle with those tips.
This is why I have this. This is exactly, I couldn't do it.
Oh no, your hair's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you. Nadia, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
No problem. No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you for
East
sharing
Coast
your
to
platform.
West Coast, Black love.
That's right.
Matters, sisterhood, Black girl magic. I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And now we're connected. So anything you want to talk about in the future, next project or whatever, let us know.
Oh, thank you so much, Kiki. Stay safe over there. Everyone take care of yourselves and stay safe, stay indoors if you can. But this is the key thing. Don't just only focus on what's going on in the negative. You know, we have to kind of talk about positive in life and keep it going through this madness. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It'll keep us insane if we keep focusing on, yeah, it's just too much.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so much for having me.
Of course. Have a great one, okay?
You too.
Yeah.